Hello friends, this is Dr. Rakesh Mittal. I am a senior consultant surgeon. We'll be discussing AIIMS and NEET pattern questions from the subject of surgery. So I'll begin with GI system. So here goes the first question. The most common site for gastrinoma in MEN1 syndrome. Now, what is MEN1 syndrome? It is multiple endocrine neoplasia. It's a cluster of various neuroendocrine tumors. So now question has been asked, what is the most common site of gastrinoma? Now, the choices are jejunum, ileum, duodenum and stomach. The correct answer is duodenum. Now, when we talk about gastrinoma is the neuroendocrine tumor that arises from G cells, which are predominantly located in upper GI system. Now, G cells, they produce a hormone known as gastrin. I hope all of you must be aware of this. Now, in a gastrinoma, there is increased gastrin production. So, when we talk about gastrinoma, tumor causes hypergastrinemia. So there is increased gastrin production, and if you can recollect, gastrin has a direct effect on acid production in the stomach. So it stimulates parietal cell mass in the stomach to produce excess of acid. So when you have excess of gastrin in the body, there will be increased acid production, that is hyperchlorhydria, and increased acid production will automatically lead to formation of multiple ulcers. So peptic ulcers. So this triad of tumor with hypergastrinemia, hyperchlorhydria and formation of ulcers is known as Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, ZES. So this is the hallmark feature of gastrinoma: increased gastrin production, increased acid production, leading on to formation of unusual ulcers in the body. So we have talked about what is a gastrinoma, what does it produce, what is the clinical presentation, and what is Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. Now if we talk about the symptoms of a gastrinoma, again this question has been asked. The most common symptom is abdominal pain, seen in 70 to almost 100% of the patients. Second most common symptom is diarrhea. This is because of stimulation of GI system by gastrin. So this is the presentation of gastrinoma. Origin, I have already told you, it originates from G cells. Now the location, the question which has been asked here, the most common location is duodenum in 50 to 70% of the cases. So that question has been asked many a times. Now most of the gastrinomas are located in Pizarro triangle, or also known as gastrinoma triangle. Again this question has been asked in both NEET and AIIMS exams in many years. Now you must know what is a Pizarro triangle or what is a gastrinoma triangle. I think I have a question based on Pizarro triangle later on. So we'll talk about it there in the next question. So you must know that most of the gastrinomas are located within this triangle. Now many questions have been asked about the diagnosis of gastrinoma. There are many tests which are used for diagnosis of gastrinoma. So directly or indirectly they are related to levels of serum gastrin in our body. So first step is fasting gastrin level, fasting serum gastrin level. So first test you must remember in a gastrinoma is we assess for fasting serum gastrin levels, and the normal fasting serum gastrin levels are less than 150 picogram per ml. So that's the normal range. But if they are more than 150 picogram per ml, that is, it is an abnormal fasting serum gastrin level. So you must suspect that patient is having a gastrinoma. Now fasting serum gastrin levels, if they are more than 1000 picogram per ml, it is a clear cut, or you can say confirmatory evidence for presence of a gastrinoma. So fasting serum gastrin levels that high, that is it is beyond 1000 picogram per ml, it is a clear cut diagnosis of gastrinoma. When they are in the range of 150 to 1000, it is still not confirmative. So you have to confirm it further by some other test. So first step is we did a serum gastrin level, fasting serum gastrin level. If it is less than 150, it is normal. If it is more than 1000, it is a confirmed diagnosis of gastrinoma. If it is between 150 and 1000, then it is a doubtful diagnosis. So we have to further confirm it with another test that is known as gastrin provocative test. Gastrin provocative test. We'll talk about it after this. So let us first discuss all other diagnostic criteria. The second is basal acid output, also popularly known as BAO. Basal acid output of the stomach, it should be more than 15 milliequivalents per hour. Normal is less than 5. Normal basal acid output is less than 5 milliequivalents per hour. If it is more than 15, it is again confirmatory for gastrinoma. Now third is gastric pH. Now this is very easy to understand. If acid is high, the pH will be low. Now the cutoff is 3. If pH is more than 3, that means it is not a gastrinoma. So in almost all cases of gastrinomas, pH of the stomach goes down below 3. So pH value less than 3 is again another indication for presence of a gastrinoma. So I am just revising 3 diagnostic criteria quickly. First we did serum fasting gastrin levels, second we did a basal acid output estimation, and third we did a gastric pH estimation, right? But now what next test to do if these criteria do not fit? Suppose pH is less than 3. So it doesn't give us a diagnosis of gastrinoma. Suppose basal acid output is less than 15. Suppose fasting serum gastrin levels are between 150 and 1000. So now what to do? What is the most confirmatory test? If single test that stands out for the diagnosis of gastrinoma is gastrin provocative test. So whenever in doubt, we do a gastrin provocative test. Gastrin provocative test is also renamed as secretin stimulation test or secretin challenge test. So whenever based on the 3 previous criteria which we discussed, if we are not able to diagnose gastrinoma, then the best and most confirmatory test is gastrin provocative test or a secretin challenge test. In this we inject secretin, we give an injection of secretin, and if you find a rise of 200 picogram per ml, rise of gastrin level, so you have injected secretin and within 15 minutes the serum gastrin levels should rise by more than 200. So if it raises by more than 200, it confirms your diagnosis of gastrinoma. So I am revising again. If there is a doubt of gastrinoma diagnosis, we do a gastrin provocation test or secretin challenge test. We inject secretin, and if gastrin levels rise by more than 200, that confirms your diagnosis. So this is how diagnosis of a gastrinoma goes. So now we switch on to next question, which is related to gastrinoma only. Diagnosis of Zollinger-Ellison syndrome is suggested by rapid urease test, endoscopic biopsy, basal acid output, and MAO is maximal acid output. It is not MOA, it is MAO, maximal acid output, and CECT abdomen. So now I hope all of you know the answer. The answer is bow and Mao level. Basal acid output level, the best choice here is, as I've already explained you, basal acid output more than 15 milliequivalents per hour is diagnostic for the gastrinoma. The next question related to gastrinoma is an image based question, and this is the image, and they have asked it is showing which of the following triangle. So is it a gastrinoma triangle, is it a Hasselbeck triangle, is it a triangle of Doom, or it is a Calet's triangle. Now I have purposefully removed the image of triangle from this, because you should know about the Pissarro triangle or the gastrinoma triangle, which we talked about in gastrinoma, right. So the 3 points you should remember to make a Pissarro or gastrinoma triangle. First point is the junction of cystic duct and CBD, junction of cystic duct and CBD. Second point is the junction of second and third part of duodenum, junction of second and third part of duodenum. Third point is junction of the body and neck of the pancreas. So these are the 3 points that make a Pissarro triangle or a gastrinoma triangle. So that is the gastrinoma triangle. So it is a question about gastrinoma triangle. Let me quickly revise the other triangles also. Hasselbeck triangle, you must be knowing, it is seen in inguinal hernia anatomy. It forms the location for formation of a direct inguinal hernia. We will talk about it during discussion of hernia chapter. Now triangle of Doom is again related to hernia. It is seen in the laparoscopic repair, that is called TEP, total extraperitoneal repair for inguinal hernias. Now third is Calet's triangle. It is again an anatomic triangle related to the anatomy of gallbladder. So clear cut, this image is based for gastrinoma triangle. Now next question, again another. So now you can see so many questions in NEET exams have been asked about gastrinoma on all aspects, the diagnosis part, the location part, and the clinical presentation part. So now gastrinoma triangle is, this is again very simple, we have just talked about it. What are the boundaries of gastrinoma triangle? I have already told you. The first point is the junction of second and third part of the duodenum. Second point is the neck and body of pancreas. So this was our first point. Second point and third point was cystic duct and common bile duct junction. So obviously answer here is the splenic vein and inferior mesenteric vein, which is not used in formation of a gastrinoma triangle.